Views and opinions expressed in this production are those of the individual and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Shooters Nation or our sponsors. Information provided on this show is not a replacement for legal counsel or professional training. Listener and viewer discretion is advised. This is especially true on live shows.
Welcome to the Shooters Nation podcast, the show created for you, the armed citizen. Join our hosts and subject matter experts as we talk about guns and gear, practical training and knowledge, Second Amendment issues, and the firearms culture. Be sure to join us after the show at shootersnation.com and become part of the Shooters Nation.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Shooters Nation podcast. I'm your host, David Yancey, and I'm joined by my co-host, Mark Lancaster from Squared Away Customs. And we have our good friend, shooter, and fellow firearms enthusiast, Brad Jones, joining us as well. Gentlemen, how's it going?
It is going well. It is going well. How are you, sir?
I can't complain. I really could. This week.
Would anybody listen?
No, I mean, and I don't want to do that to the listeners, but yeah, this week has kind of sucked. I'm over it already. So
yeah. No, it's been one of those weeks for sure.
Yeah, I really didn't prepare very well for the show tonight just because I feel like I've kind of gotten run over with everything else. But that's actually kind of cool. Mark, we talked about this, and I reached out to Brad and asked him to come on and just chat with us because we don't really have an agenda. And I thought that it'd be kind of fun for us to just catch up on some things and do this free form.
Absolutely.
We don't do that very often. It feels kind of good not to have an agenda. I think maybe we ought to do this more often than we do, but we'll let the listeners decide. Hopefully we get some feedback off of this and they tell us if they like it or if they want us to be quiet and bring subject matter experts on more often. But
we'll just start calling it Tangent Episode 1.
Tangent episode, yeah.
Yes, there you go. Well, I'm a subject matter expert. I just don't know if it's quite the right podcast to bring my subject matter into.
Yeah, I really just wanted to hang out with the guys and catch up and see what was going on and talk about some of the new stuff that we've been up to or the new guns and gear that we've bought. Mark, when we first started talking about doing podcasts, I kind of had this idea in my head that it would be like the guys getting together, having a drink, and talking about guns and stuff. And that's fun. Mm-hmm. Yeah. What the listeners may not realize is that you and I really don't get to talk very much outside of this podcast.
Right.
So, yeah,
a few minutes before, a few minutes after,
right.
A couple of chats throughout the week. And that's it.
Yeah, we used to do the group chats. We would get together on the weekend nights with a bunch of the guys scattered all across the country, and we would do a group chat. Mm-hmm. And those were hysterical. They were a lot of fun. We'd talk about anything and everything. But thinking about it, some of the podcasts that I like to listen to outside of this one are the ones where guys just hang out and talk about guns and stuff.
Yeah.
So if that's your thing, hopefully you like this episode. And I'll just plug right now, if you do enjoy this, send us some feedback. Let us know. Not opposed to doing more of these more often where we just kind of freeform it, but not to take anything away from our subject matter experts. We love them. We really appreciate the time and the willingness to come on and talk to us and make us and our guests smarter. But we don't always have to do that. It's just kind of been a thing. We've been on a streak.
We're going to have a fairly short life if we always have to have an SME in order to have a show.
Yeah, right. I agree.
Right.
So.
Yeah, so it's interesting, right? This is actually episode 23, and I've gotten away from numbering the episodes just because I wanted the ability to rearrange them if I needed to. Sometimes, for a while there, we'd been recording in advance and releasing things a week or two after the fact. So not declaring that an episode was number whatever gave me some flexibility, but this is actually episode 23 tonight. And for lack of a better title, I called it Chasing the Dot, Stopping the Bleed, Shooting the Breeze. And that's God, if we talk about all three of those things, it's gonna be kind of sad. Man, I don't know, it'd be fun. But we're coming up rapidly on our 6-month anniversary, which is hard to believe, but not. It feels longer, but it feels shorter.
But it's worth drinking too. So
it is worth drinking too. By the way, so I tonight am enjoying a glass of Maker's Mark. I poured about 3 fingers worth in a rocks glass before I came in here because it has been that kind of week. Yes. Brad, what did you just have there?
I've been trying to diminish a bottle of Weller 107.
Oh, hey.
So I've had this idea to start an infinity bottle.
Oh yeah.
And it's one of those things I've been kicking it around for a while, and you know what? I'm getting to where, hey, I've got just the right amount in the Weller. So that's gonna be my start. And so that's what I'm drinking the last glass to prepare for that last little 2 ounces,
that's a noble pursuit. That is a
Yeah.
very noble pursuit.
So
I have some serious OCD about weird things, and it's not everyday things. It's just certain things really bug me. And I love the idea of the infinity bottle. And if the listeners you're not familiar with the infinity bottle, give it a look. It's pretty cool. But what bugs me about it is, and I think we've talked about this maybe online or something in the past, but like you get that perfect sip, right?
Yes.
And you're like, oh my gosh, this is it.
And you'll never get it again.
There's no recreating it.
No,
ever
there's not.
again.
Ever.
Yeah.
No.
You're done.
Yeah, because I probably drink as much bourbon and read about bourbon as I do shoot guns and read about
I'm
guns.
with you. Yeah.
So there's different batch numbers, and the difference in temperatures of places make all the difference in
how long it sat in the truck.
Yeah, all of this stuff makes a difference. So yeah, it's a one and done type thing. Now you can savor that bottle as long as you can, but you will never get. I guess you could pour 2 bottles at the same time, maybe.
You could mix them half and half or cross or something.
Yeah, something like that. But
But then it's not worthy of being the waste, right?
That's right. That's true.
Then that's a production run. Then
then you're just making your own concoction.
Now the ATF is coming to visit you for a completely different reason, right? So,
exactly. Yes.
Yeah. It makes me wonder how many of our audience members are bourbon whiskey fans as well. I wonder. I don't know. That'd be interesting to hear from our listeners as well. I'd like to know that. Mark,
go ahead.
I was gonna ask Mark what he's got. Did you go get a glass?
I just poured the last glass of a Michener's 10-year.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's one of my favorites. It's a good one.
I've got the Blue Label American Unblended in there on the countertop, and I think I've got a unopened bottle of the Sour Mash Nectars. So I have not tried the 10-year yet.
It's we had some stuff a couple weekends ago. My friend Robin, this stuff called Blood Oath.
Oh yeah,
very good, very good.
Awesome.
But
that's the one that comes in the cool box, right? It comes in
That can be hard to find too. So having that,
it was
a privilege.
He kind of rolled in. There was 10. He snagged one type of thing just at the right time.
Very nice. Yeah. I saw the pictures that you guys posted. Is either on Facebook or Instagram, and it looked like you had a good spread. The A part of the ATF was very well represented on the counter.
Well represented, yes.
Yeah. None of us brought guns that weekend. Other than our carry pieces, we walked in. For all the listeners, I have a cabin off grid in northern tip of New Hampshire on the border of Vermont and Canada.
It's the staging area for the Canadian invasion. Us invading Canada, or you invading Canada.
And annually, we had this guys' weekend up at my cabin, and this year 7 of us went up. All with different bourbons and so on and so forth. And
that's a good
light
weekend.
A fire that never goes out and cook copious amounts of bacon and meat. We don't do vegetables for the whole weekend, and we have bourbon and cigars, and that's basically what the weekend consists of.
That doesn't sound bad. That's the way every weekend should be.
Gig. Yes, that's not a bad gig.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, that should be it. I think bourbon and whiskey probably is in my blood. Well, yours too, Brad, being Kentucky born and raised. That's
absolutely
got to support the home state. So
that's right.
Yeah. And then I turned around and moved to Tennessee, and guess what? It's big down here too. So it's like, well, I chose poorly or wisely. I don't know, depending on who you ask. But
there's still a lot of I guess it would be more defined as whiskeys than bourbons.
That's true.
There are a lot of, I guess you would say, entrepreneurs in the whiskey business here. Who like to make some things from time to time, and always nice to get a sample of that stuff as well. So I may not always drink bourbon,
right?
But it's definitely number one on the list.
Yeah. No, I mean, before we got started, we were talking about Scotch, and that's just one thing that I've never really been able to get super into. I've tried. We've spent a lot of money pursuing that. I'm fortunate. My wife really likes the craft bourbons and whiskeys, and we've enjoyed going to the distillery tours and learning a lot about it. I like it partially because that industry, much like firearms, is heavily regulated by the government, and the people that are involved in it have got both hands, both middle fingers up in the air, saying, "Yeah, we'll pay your tax, but freedom, baby." So
that's right.
Yeah.
The Bourbon Trail, I'll turn 40 next year.
Okay.
And for the longest time, I had, 40th birthday. It's a Vegas trip. Absolutely. And then as it's getting a little bit closer, I'm getting a little bit older, and just the whole allure of Vegas is just
a little
not
wiser.
There. Yeah, a little wiser. Yeah. And realize that I don't recover quite as well as what I used to, so the whole allure of Vegas is not there anymore. So I got to think, hey, Bourbon Trail, be a good trip, to go home. And my birthday is like the weekend before the Kentucky Derby.
Oh, well, that can't be bad at all.
I mean, that can't be bad. I'll take a weekend trip and cruise up to Kentucky with some friends and maybe hit the Derby and do a couple of distilleries. And
heck yeah.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that.
Make it a week-long pilgrimage.
Yeah, that would be nice. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I wonder, the Weller 107, are you familiar with the fact that the Weller mash bill is essentially the same mash bill that's used to create Pappy? And
yes.
Okay, right. And so, unfortunately, that used to be a kind of a secret, and people that were in knew it, and you could buy the Weller 107 fairly cheaply, and you could find that all the time. Now that the word has gotten out, it sucks. I've got a bottle of Van Winkle 12-year that my wife got the hookup on a few years ago, and it's amazing. I've still got about half of it left. Oh man, love talking about bourbon and whiskey and stuff like that. It's like I said, it's been that kind of week already, and it's fun to sit around and drink some of the product and talk about stuff, talk about guns. So let's talk about that a little bit, I guess. Really, I thought we'd start with maybe just a quick look back at some of the episodes recently, and I don't know, maybe we should hold on to this for the big 6-month show, but I think it'd be cool to do something different for that. It'd be cool maybe to do a live show for that one again.
Yeah.
But so looking back across, Mark, I was thinking about episode 18, the ladies episode. We've actually got some really good feedback about that. Just this past Sunday, I had one of the guys that listens to us fairly regularly, Josh Tribby. He sent me a message, and he was very happy. He said that episode, his wife finally got a chance to listen to it, and she is now very interested in finding a carry gun for herself and starting on that journey. So congrats to both of you. Really happy to hear that. Really appreciate the good feedback. That's been a really popular episode with the listeners providing good feedback. So.
Well, that one piece of feedback right there makes it all worthwhile.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's exactly why I like doing this is hope to open up the eyes to maybe somebody that isn't a person of the gun, so to say, or a student of the gun, maybe, and just to maybe get it in their hand and let them learn a little bit and help bring what little knowledge I have to somebody that doesn't. And I think that's what it's all about for me anyway.
Yeah, there were a couple of points in that episode that it never even crossed my mind that would be, challenges for them or, some things that not necessarily even a challenge, but just something that they thought about when they were picking a firearm to carry. I was like, oh, that never even, being a guy and having larger hands, it never even crossed my mind that they would have issues with thumb placement or, some things like that. So it was very informative even for me just sit back and listen to.
I learned stuff about my own wife on that show. I didn't know that she had talked about having set off her pepper spray in her purse. And, so she and Kristen were kind of laughing about similar experiences, right? And I listened to the episode and I paused it and I looked at her and I said, when did you do that? And she's like, well, I don't know, is this, I didn't tell you because I was embarrassed. Right. Yeah. But yeah, it was, there were a lot of things that were kind of shocking in there. It was shocking me that Tiffany Johnson carries 2 Glock 17s or 2 Glock 19s. I've met her and she is, man, she's a firecracker. And, I don't know. And Tiffany, if you listen to this and I get this wrong, my apologies. I know you were shorter than I am, and I'm not a really tall guy. I'm maybe 5'9", 5'10". Tiffany was shorter than that. And when she told me that she was, she carries, or on that episode, she told everybody, sometimes she'll carry 2 Glock 19s or Glock 17s. I nearly wrecked my car. I was driving into work. I was like, wait, what? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Where do you put them? And she walked through that, and that was pretty impressive. I thought about Nick Cage in, what was the movie, Face Off, where he had
twin gold 1911s.
Yeah, in his back, and I thought, if you have that holster, you're my hero. But now she, her belly band rig was really, really cool. So, but yeah,
Nick Cage, so a couple of months ago we did a modern day Face Off holster.
Oh, did you in the shop?
Twin appendix carry shield 9mm.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And it's pretty funny.
I want that with twin high points.
Yeah, twin high points.
Yeah.
Carbine high points. Oh my gosh.
Everybody says that the carbines are actually pretty cool, but
I had one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. When I was working in, the gun shop, we sold a few of them.
Yeah.
They weren't the pistol. I'll say that.
Right.
Now, are they the best in the world? Absolutely not. They're heavy. They're bulky. They're awkward, but they do go bang.
Yeah.
Unlike the pistols. So there is that.
Well, they've got the High Point 1095. It's the 10mm carbine. That sounds like fun. That's a High Point that I would not be embarrassed to own.
Well, the carbines, with the exception of the barrel and maybe the bolt, are all plastic.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm. I mean, all plastic. The grip, the trigger guard, the trigger itself.
Right.
I think the trigger bar may have even been plastic. I mean, I had one. I'm not going to lie. I had one, and I chopped all the sights off it and did a bunch of, this is about 2000, probably 2011.
Okay.
2010, somewhere in there. And I had done this thing all up because I got it for $100. I was like, well, if this thing shoots, I'm just going to keep it just for like a beater gun.
Right. It's worth $100.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Right. It shoots, and it was money well spent.
Yeah. And I took it out and it was like, I'm at like 25 yards steel. I'm like, ding, 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 ding. I'm like, what?
Right.
Drop the mag, throw another mag in it. Ding, 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 ding. I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay. I cut the front sight off. I grounded that off so it was smooth. I drilled and tapped and put a pick rail on the top. I put a Bushnell TRS 25 red dot, like a $79 red dot.
You tripled its value right there.
Yeah. That's and right. I taped everything up that I didn't want done, and I rattle can spray painted it.
Yeah.
And it was just a freaking blast. We used that thing all the dang time.
Oh man. Yeah.
And I don't remember what I did with it, but it's been long gone. It lasted maybe a year or two in my safe.
Probably left it on your dashboard in the sun and it melted.
It may have. Yeah. The good thing is there's no metal in it, so you can microwave it, I guess.
That's right. Yeah, you can like microwave it back into shape or something. I don't know. Yeah. Well, yeah, the ladies episode was a lot of fun. If you've listened to one of our episodes, do us a favor. If you've listened to something and it helped you in some way, or it changed your perception on something for the better, I'll just say if it's even changed it for the worse, let us know. It's kind of fun to hear that stuff from folks. And if you follow us on the Instagram, you can shoot us a direct message on there. I don't promise that I respond to them within a reasonable amount of time, but Josh happened to catch me and I was sitting there with my phone in my hand doing something on Instagram. And, I was happy to chat back and forth with him. I'm always glad to hear from the listeners. Mark, I know you are too. If people email us, I share it with Mark. It's a lot of fun. So let us know what you think and how we're doing. Let me think. The other episode that I really was thinking about earlier today was episode 16, and that was the diversity episode. And Mark, I don't know if you want to go too far into this one, but I just wanted to clear the air about one thing, and this is more for my sake. So on our local Tennessee Gun Owners Forum, we were talking about that particular episode, and I really wanted to see with a focus group of people what they thought about it and how it challenged their perceptions of things. And one of the pieces of feedback that I got, and I really took this to heart, was that it felt like that episode was a lot about NRA bashing. And I will say that wasn't my intent. Yeah, I think that we rode that horse until it fell over dead, and then we beat on it for a while in that episode. I will own that. But it was a message that I think some people just really didn't want to hear. And I would still challenge folks that are maybe upset about that to think about just this statement, not throwing rocks at anybody, but I just want everybody to think about the fact that the message that Tiffany was trying to get out there was for us as a community at large to be more welcoming of others. And when I think about being welcoming, that's not a passive activity, right? You can't passively welcome somebody to a thing. You can leave the door open, you can leave it unlocked, leave it open, and hope that they come in. You can not throw them out if they do, but that's not the same as welcoming somebody. And I think that's really what she was after with that, was try to be more welcoming of people that don't look like you, vote like you, worship like you, regardless of orientation or anything else like that. Be welcoming of folks, because the Second Amendment is for everyone. And I'm afraid that maybe we didn't get that message out there. And I'm going to say that that's entirely my fault, because as the guy that was hosting the show and trying to ask the right questions and lead the conversation the right way, I let us get stuck in a rut. And so that's not Tiffany's fault. That's not Akil's fault. That's entirely on me as the host of the show. And I'm learning as we go. That was episode number 16. So 16 episodes from now, hopefully I'm better at that kind of stuff. So trust me when I say that, they weren't trying to beat people over the head with that message. It was just, they're very passionate about welcoming others into it for the sake of preserving the Second Amendment, because everybody, if you're a citizen of the United States, you have the right to vote. And wouldn't we like more people voting in favor of Second Amendment issues instead of against them? So anyway, I don't know. Mark, do you have any thoughts on that, or do you just want to kind of leave that alone?
Yeah, let's move on.
Okay.
No,
cool.
I agree. I exactly agree with what you're saying. Not that I don't want to talk about it. I just think that you're exactly on point with what you're saying. I wasn't in that show.
No, you weren't.
I think that was the one I missed.
You were out of town.
That was the one you missed, yeah.
Yep. And I absolutely agree. And I would think that I 100% know where you stand.
Yeah.
And that if that's the way people took it, it was just a miscommunication. I think.
It's on me. Like I said, I'm a life member of the NRA. I very much support the organization. I want the organization to be successful. I think that maybe they could tweak their message a little bit better to appeal to more folks, with the interest of getting more folks on board to support the Second Amendment and Second Amendment issues. But I firsthand witnessed the efforts of the NRA in Tennessee to support, the Eddie Eagle program and hunter education and things like that. They do more for the Second Amendment than any other organization that's geared for Second Amendment issues, and it's just because of sheer size and budget. So absolutely support them. I want to see them be successful. So anyway, that's it. All right, we'll move on. Let's see. The Urban Survival episode 21, I think the feedback that I got about that was that they're really anxious to hear more on the subject. One person said that there wasn't much discussion about cold weather survival. That might be good to have Tony come back later in the fall, as we get up into the colder months, and have him talk about that.
Except he doesn't live in any cold weather climate. That's
true. He might have some folks that he's paired up with or could recommend even to come in and talk about that.
Well, I'm in New Hampshire. I can definitely connect us with some people that are familiar with cold weather.
Very cool.
Weather stuff, I would think.
That's a totally different game. Hydration is still very key, but preserving body warmth is very important. Very, very important. So.
Yeah. and it's 10:15 at night when we're recording this, and it's still like 91 degrees outside here.
Yeah.
So, but with that said, I do have family in northern Ohio, northern Illinois, and I have to travel up to see them sometimes.
Yeah.
If I got up there and in the middle of the evening and my truck quit, I would be completely lost on what to do.
Sure.
That is not part of my that is not part of my skill set at all to be any kind of cold weather survival.
Yeah. Well, I think we definitely will try to get some expertise on the show to talk about that. Definitely would be good as we get further into the colder months and things like that.
The first tip with the cold weather survival is bourbon.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we're prepared right now. If it starts to snow, and it might snow in my house tonight, I don't have control of the thermostat. I'm wearing. You guys can see this on the video that we use when we're talking to each other. I'm wearing a vest because my wife's got the thermostat cranked down to like 32 or something. The bourbon and the vest are helping me stay warm and lucid right now. So, yeah. The low light training gear and tactics episode 22, that was the one that we just did last week. I'll just say this about that one. I've only got one thing to plug. It made me go back and take inventory of my flashlights. And I saw that there was a Streamlight model that did exactly what you and Randy were advocating, all the lumens on the first button press and then dim after that. It's actually programmable. I'm trying to think of which model it is I ordered. But that thing will be here maybe tomorrow, courtesy of Amazon. And, all my other lights I've got are exactly, they're either all the lumens or they're exactly what you said that you don't want, they dim first and then go bright. Yeah. So
no, bright first, not dim first.
Well, no, you're saying that's what you don't want is the dim feature first, right?
Yeah,
so the one I've got coming is a Streamlight ProTac 2L-X, and it was under $50, uses two CR123A batteries, and it's 500.
Oh, that's the one with the major recall.
That sucks.
I'm kidding.
Thanks. All right.
Yeah, tell him I take a wind out of his sails.
That's why it was so cheap. Yeah, it's like, all right, fine. I'm used to that. I'll play the Charlie Brown role and just go kick rocks somewhere. So yeah, okay. I'm used to it.
It's the surefire snob in me. I'm just
I'm working my way towards it, man. When I start thinking about that much money for a surefire light, I also think about that's 1/4 of the way to putting an RMR on another gun. So yeah, and that I guess that's worth talking about too. We'll talk about that in a minute. Never mind. I don't want to get off track. Interesting tidbit: the episode with Dan McKelman from Polymer 80, episode 20, one of our most listened to episodes so far.
I'll tell you, man, it's a great product. I'm happy that it was, and I'm not necessarily surprised.
It resonated.
There was one question. I think it was maybe a question from a listener that had been sent in or something. I don't remember that part. And it was, will there be other products outside of the Glock lineup?
Yeah.
And as a firearm guy who's not a Glock guy,
right?
Only because they just don't fit my hand. They're great guns. You'll never hear me say anything bad about a Glock other than I can't hit the broadside of a barn with it. It is very exciting to hear that there's going to be other products coming out of his line.
Yeah.
That I literally have parts on the shelf that I'm 99.9% sure are going to fit those products when they come out. So
here's a crazy tidbit. You might like this, right? I finally got to hold a friend of mine's Polymer 80 Glock 17 build here locally just the other day. It doesn't feel like a Glock.
No, and I have on the shelf waiting to be finished, I have a Polymer 80 17, and it fits my hand so much better than the 21 or 26 or whatever Glock you want to try to pick up. But just knowing that there's going to be other stuff coming out was very exciting to me, just from the fact that, hey, I have half the stuff here to build what I'm pretty sure is coming out, even though he couldn't say for sure. I think we all know.
Yeah, we're all hopeful.
The stuff here on the shelf. Yeah.
Yeah, we're all very hopeful. Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know, Mark, what is it? You said that we should use the hashtag not a Glock.
Not a Glock.
Not a Glock. Yeah, and when I held that one the other day, I was like, "Oh hell yeah! I've got to take Dan up on the offer to go down there and walk through it. I'd like to go down there and video it and make a feature out of it. Of here's what it's like to build a polymer 80 handgun. So that'd be fun. It'd be a lot of fun.
Where the challenge becomes, and I don't know if you picked up on this, guys, but the reason why the compatibility with Gen 4 and Gen 5 isn't there is because those guns are still under patent.
That's right.
So the reason why you don't see them dropping a bunch of other brands is because a lot of the other brands are still under patent as well.
Right. Yeah. And that makes sense. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot more business aspect that goes into that.
John Moses Browning, I think, is one of the few that is not. But I can't imagine they'll be doing 9-11.
Yeah. No, I'd totally rock a Browning high power polymer 80.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
and especially with the recent announcement from Browning that they are no longer going to be building high powers.
Right.
That's definitely something to keep in mind.
Yeah. Yeah. Polymer framed Browning high power would be awesome.
My guess, and I really don't have any intel. As close as I am with them, I really don't have any intel on this. My guess is it's going to be P320.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense, right?
Just because it's so versatile to drop that trigger control group in and have a new gun.
Well, and B&T's already done it. So B&T's already, I guess SIG's not protecting the frame, I guess, if you will. They're not getting real picky about that. So they let B&T, maybe B&T license it. Hell, I don't know. But yeah, that makes perfect sense. The drop in like that. And who else is it that does a drop in? Does FN for the FN 509, or am I crazy? Maybe they don't. I was thinking somebody else does a drop in module like that. I know Beretta does. The APX
might be the APX actually.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't own one of those. I've never shot one of those. I hear they're good guns, but I have no experience with them. They just look weird, like everything else Beretta makes.
I think we got to start throwing in like a live show a month or something.
It'd be fun. Yeah, it'd be fun. Actually, I had somebody ask me the other day, why don't we just scrape the audio off of this and upload it to YouTube? And I thought, well, I don't know. I mean, are you willing to listen to it on YouTube and just look at nothing but the logo or something for an hour? And he's like, well, yeah, why wouldn't you? Mm-hmm. Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah. So, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I'm willing to look into that. Doesn't take us anything to upload.
Why not just play the Overcast app then on your
PC? Yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure. The thing that really YouTube has come up quite, several times with some of our audience members asking if we'll do those shows, and I am just a little reluctant to invest very much into YouTube, considering how fickle they are with gun-related content.
Practically Tactical's had a whole bunch of problems.
They've had just grief, lots of grief with YouTube, and that's terrible. There's an investment of time and energy and equipment to do a podcast. There is a totally different level of investment to do, video, especially if it's live video. It's stressful. You got to be on point. We don't do a whole lot of editing with the podcast. Occasionally we'll flub something up and we'll go back and edit something and make it. Hopefully the listeners never even notice. If I've done my job right, they won't notice it. But if you're doing live video, you're live, baby. You mess up, it's right there for everybody.
So speaking of, the show The Five.
Yeah.
On Fox.
Yeah.
So Dana Perino.
Mm-hmm.
Today they were doing a bit, kind of in closing as the show. They just play one of these goofy nonsense bits.
Yeah.
And it was about this kid who took a 5-foot alligator into a convenience store and was chasing the customers around.
I saw that. So what was the story behind that?
And Dana goes, "Wow, what a a-hole."
Right.
Oh, yeah.
But there was no a-hole to it. She just legit said the word live.
Yeah.
And it was freaking hilarious.
So what was the story? I saw the video. I didn't click on it. I was
just some kid being an a-hole,
and he just took the alligator
around with an alligator in his arms.
He wasn't high on anything. He hadn't
like. No, I think he was. I think he was some sort of like a guy that fiddles with alligators. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I don't know what you call him. Like up here, it's a redneck or a hick or something like that. Like I don't know what it's called down like the bayous.
Okay, yeah,
wherever they were.
There's probably a technical term for guy that plays with alligators. I don't know. Maybe it is redneck.
What are the alligator shows called? Like
I don't know. Alligator shows? I'm not sure.
Yeah, like on the Discovery, the guys that go hunting alligators.
Swamp people.
Yeah, he's like a swampy person.
Okay.
Yeah.
The guy looks like he was probably conceived in a boat in Lake Okeechobee.
Yeah. Like on a one of the fan boats, right? Yeah.
The airboats, yeah.
Yeah, you got
the video that I saw, like he took the alligator in the beer cooler with him. He was just carrying it around. Like, oh,
that's his drinking buddy.
I forgot. I got to get Natty Light. Come on, alligator, we got to go.
Oh my God, I'm still chuckling at the idea of being conceived on an airboat.
An airboat.
You really got watch what your feet do if you're having sex on an airboat. You would think that's kind of dangerous. So, alligators or fans, I don't know. Maybe we should have an episode on that.
Get this kid in as an SME.
This may be the low point or the high point of Shooters Nation.
Or the high point in the show.
Hey, if you're not laughing, you're on the wrong show.
That's right. Yeah, you're on the wrong show. Well, I mean, I think it's awesome that the guy took his alligator in to get beer. So yeah, he could have been irresponsible and lifted it outside.
Legit chasing customers with it.
Oh well, that's different. Well, maybe the alligator just wanted to get to know him. I don't know.
I was in Bass Pro Shop last week, and there was a guy walking around. And I don't know what kind it was. He had some kind of little like monkey on his shoulder,
What?
And of course, all the people are walking up. Oh, can I pet it? Can I pet it? I didn't see anybody in that video walking up. Oh, can I pet your alligator?
Right. Maybe if he'd had him on his shoulder, it would have been different.
Yeah,
it was a big alligator. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. What do we even do? I guess it's time. It's almost time for a midpoint break.
Yep.
Now's a great time to take a midpoint break. So if you're listening to the show at this point and wondering what in the world you just signed up for, we're going to take a break and you can reconsider your life choices, and hopefully you come back and you listen to us in a minute. Can we even top the alligator? That's pretty good. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Where do we go after this? I could just roll the credits. That would be kind of disappointing. Everybody's asked for a 30-minute show, so this could be it. But no, I'm not going to go that easy on them. We got more stuff to talk about.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I hope you're having fun. If you're not, you probably need to go fill up your glass. If you can't do that because you're at work, you should just tell your boss you're going home so you can. You have my permission. Tell your boss that the guy on the podcast said you can go home and start drinking early and finish listening to the podcast. So we'll be back with you here in just a minute, and we're gonna I guess we'll just roll probably a Squared Away Customs commercial because we love our Squared Away Customs. Not sure which one we're gonna roll this time. Which one do you want to roll?
I don't roll any of them.
Well, I know, but I mean, we like
let's do the Polymer 80 one.
Okay, we'll do the Polymer 80 one. All right, everybody, stick around. Polymer 80 goodness coming right at you. We'll be back in a minute. Hey folks, David here. By now, regular listeners of the show are well acquainted with Mark and our friends over at Squared Away Customs. You already know that they are a manufacturer of high-quality custom Kydex holsters and carry gear for civilians, military, and law enforcement. But what you might not know is that Squared Away Customs is also your one-stop source for weapon-mounted lights and other firearms accessories. Mark, Corey, and the gang are now also stocking dealer for Polymer 80 frames and slides, and of course, have holsters to fit. What is Polymer 80, you ask? They are 80% complete polymer frames that you finish out with Glock pistol components. Because you're building it, there's no serial number, no FFL required, and no registration needed. It's a great way to build a custom Glock-style pistol of your own creation. Squared Away Customs offers Polymer 80 frames compatible with Glock model 17, 19, 22, 23, 26, 27, 34, and 35 Generation 3 components. They come in 2 different grip styles and include features like an extended beaver tail, double undercut trigger guard, and a thumb ledge already built in. So, if you're looking for the next level of customization and performance from the Glock platform, head over to squaredawaycustoms.com and check out their Polymer 80 accessories and, of course, their Squared Away Customs Polymer 80 custom holsters today. Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Shooters Nation podcast. You know, talking about other things going on lately, I'll go first, I guess. Is that kind of like conceded for me to go first? Or
You always go first.
I always go first.
Age before beauty.
Man, that sucks. Mark, you go first. Do you want to go first? Go first.
Yeah, sure. The Olight arrived.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah. So I kind of know how that went, but the audience doesn't.
Yep.
And I wanted to be excited.
Yeah.
So I start with pros or cons?
Yeah, everybody always likes the good news first.
Good news is the light seems very robust. Seems very rugged.
Yeah.
I got the mini, so it's the little one, the 400 lumen, rechargeable with USB.
Okay, right.
It seems robust. The charger is handy, right? So you don't have to change batteries out. Who doesn't like that? It mounts on and locks up very tight. It's small, so it's easy for concealed carry.
How would you compare it size-wise to TLR7 or a Streamlight TLR1 or a Surefire?
TLR7, it's 30% smaller.
Is it really? Oh, the TLR7 is smaller or it's smaller?
No, it's smaller than TLR7.
Are you serious? That's tiny.
Yep. It's about 10% bigger than Surefire XC1.
Okay. Which nobody cares about because it's garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, the bad news is I will never trust it or recommend it to anybody ever. There is and I know I'm making some enemies here, but it's a glaring issue, if you ask me, for a concealed carry weapon.
Right.
And the issue lies in its mounting platform. Yes, when it's mounted, it's rock solid, but the problem lies with there is no screw or a spring-loaded latch like in a Surefire light or a screw like a Streamlight. There is a bar, like a lever that flips from front of the gun to the back of the gun into the lock position.
So we talked about this. It's a lot like the American Defense Manufacturing, the ADM optics mounts.
an ADM QD mount on a scope mount or ring or something like that.
Right.
Now envision drawing that from your holster and having that lever hook your belt.
So it's pointed, if it's on your gun, it's pointed back towards the back of the gun, pointed up.
If it's on your gun, it's pointed to the sky if your gun's holstered.
Okay. Right.
So when you draw, it is not unreasonable to think that this thing could potentially grab a shirt, a drawstring on a coat,
your belt,
a cover garment, your belt, your jeans, something, and it just literally would catch and flip that lever to the open position, and your light falls off. Period. Like, it doesn't like just get loose. It literally fell off.
That's counterproductive.
I induced the malfunction.
Yeah.
And I did it in a video just to take it and show some people. And I induced the malfunction. It was very easy to induce. The lever flipped, the light fell off, and I was lightless.
Can you flip the lever around on the light? No. Well, I mean, one of the guys in the group that we're part of an internet group that we all chat and stuff. And by the way, folks, Shooters Nation on Facebook, there is a group. You can always add yourself to that. And we're glad to talk, back and forth with folks. This is another group, very selective group. One of the guys that was really optimistic and hoping for good things with that light said, well, that's a design flaw. So
it's 100% a design flaw.
Yeah. That's
if they made that a screw, I would be I would be using the light a lot more.
Yeah.
I'd be testing the light a lot more in the dark. But like that happened within 30 minutes of me opening the box. And I was just like, well, I am not really interested in this light anymore. That's just, it was a deal breaker for me.
Well, hopefully, is there any way to get information back to them, or do they just not solicit input from the customers?
I don't know. I don't know. I am personally of the opinion if you're taking this job seriously, you're going to ask people that are in the know and that will give you good feedback.
Yeah.
Before you produce products.
Right.
Or you give, beta testers, industry professionals, give them lights. I know I think Aaron Cowan does some stuff. Steve Fisher, I know, does some stuff.
Yeah.
But William Petty, but I know a lot of these top instructors and big instructors are beta testers for a lot of big companies that are producing new product. They're like, here, run the snot out of this,
right,
and give me honest feedback.
Yes.
And none of those guys would have given honest feedback without mentioning that problem.
Right. Well, that's disappointing. Yeah, because it's got the right price point for a lot of people, and hopefully they get that squared away. That's just not. That's not cool. Yeah, just turning the lever around the other direction would allow it to be usable. Except I guess you probably snag it even more likely holstering it.
Reholstering, yeah.
But who gives a crap? You've already done work.
That's true.
Right. It reminds me of like I had a customer ask for a felt line holster because they wanted it quiet when they were reholstering. Okay. So they wouldn't alert anybody.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, if you've drawn, you've already done work.
Right.
Like if Roscoe's already gone blocka, who cares about your Kydex making a click? You know what I mean? Like,
right. Yeah, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
So it's one of those things like reholstering, like, but if that potentially fails while reholstering, I can almost even live with that.
Yeah.
But on the draw, leaving you in the dark. Nope.
Right. Yeah. That's not good. Not good at all. Well, okay. Well, now we know. Now the customers know, and now the listeners know. So,
light, no light.
Yeah, that could be a slogan. Yeah. All right. Brad, how about you, man? You picked up anything cool lately that?
From a gear standpoint, the latest thing I got was Mark's design of the new Tango mag carrier.
Right.
I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
It works. You could, if you're a marketing guy, you come up with all these fancy slogans and jingles that you try to sell to people. And the two words that describe it better than anything is just, it works.
Yeah.
It's easy to use. It's comfortable. I'm a bigger guy, so sometimes carrying a lot of extra stuff on my person can be a little more uncomfortable. This is not the case with that mag carrier.
Yeah.
So I'll be picking up one for the single stack, which based on conversation that we had earlier tonight, will also be the single stack will also accept 1911 mags, which is good. I don't carry a 1911, but having that at the range, instead of having to walk, I'm on the shooting line, and the particular range that I go to, our tables to set all of our stuff is 10 feet behind us. Right. And I don't want to shoot a mag and then, oh crap, now I got to go back, and I don't want sticking it in my pocket. So just having that, right there quick on my belt is going to be, it's going to be more convenience at the range. But when I carry the shield, it's going to be great because I got an extra mag, and the retention's great. It's adjustable. It works.
Well, that's going to make it easier for you guys to manufacture those, Mark, right? I mean, because this thing is a kind of this mag works for a wide variety of things. You're not having to stamp out pouches for every different mag under the sun.
And people don't, the hard part of what we do is that we offer so many options that it's kind of our downside too, because all those options create long lead times.
Mm-hmm.
And the biggest complaint about my company is that it takes so long to get your product. But when you're offering, 12 different products, at one point we offered 14 different products, over 80 colors for 300 make and model guns.
No kidding.
So some quick math, you'll see that I'm in the hundreds of thousands of possible SKUs. You know what I mean? With once you throw in canted, not canted belt loops, sizes, all that kind of stuff. I mean,
left hand, right hand, all that stuff.
Left handed, right handed, all that stuff. It's very, very time consuming. So this little guy has made it super versatile. So any double stack 9mm or 40 works in this mag carrier, period. So then as Brad mentioned, in the single stack, it'll take any single stack 9, 40, or 45. So 1911s, Shield 45s, Glock 43s, Glock 42s, M&B Shields, Springfield XCS, all one carrier. So
inside, outside the waistband.
Yeah, it's versatile. So you can just flip the clip around the other side, carry it on the inside of the waistband.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, very awesome.
Well, and just I like the fact that based on the retention, you can carry it bullet forward or bullet to the back.
Yeah, you can hear that thing. It's got good retention. I mean, it's clicking in as you use it. Yeah.
It's versatile. It's well made, and the adjustment is the coolest thing that I've ever seen.
Very slick. Yeah. Well, anything that speeds up production, I know is welcome to you and Corey both. So that's awesome. And the versatility is very slick. Now, but I guess it really kind of says something. I don't know. This is going to be kind of cheesy maybe, but for you guys, no, it is definitely beneficial for you because it expedites the production, but you could have continued doing what you were doing and sold
more mag carriers.
Sold more mag carriers, right? Yeah. So
that's not what I want to do.
Yeah. This is a better product. So very cool. I'll have to check it out. I'll have to get one of these.
I'll always be the first one to tell you where you can save money.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Do this, and this is going to be more versatile. You'll have to buy less things.
Right.
I'm absolutely going to be that guy because our lead time is what I've always hated.
Yeah.
But I refuse to sacrifice speed for quality.
Yeah.
And I have a hard time with trust. I can trust Corey to do a great job, and I can trust my other part-timers that help out to do what they do. But I keep my circle small.
Yeah. No, I understand completely. Well, so for me, I finished building my Glock 19 Gen 4 into what I've kind of, tongue in cheek called the space gun. And it's just because, I was probably the last guy to the RMR party. And
no, I'm not there yet either.
Are you not?
So
well, and
I want to be, but I just haven't taken the step yet.
Well, the guys that I went shooting with last weekend are now they're probably late to the RMR party. Also, they all after they saw it and they shot it, they said, "All right, that's it. We're gonna go buy some RMRs for our guns." So that has been a lot of fun. That was eye opening. It's cheating. It really feels like it's cheating. It makes you, for me at least, I wear glasses. And the older I get, I just turned 46 a week ago. And it seems like the older I get, the further away from 30 I get, my eyesight just diminishes a little bit more and more every year. And that really shows up when I'm trying to be precise with my aiming and really focusing on that front sight for a precision shot at the range. And with the RMR, you don't have to work as hard at it. It's just it's like a mouse for your computer. It's point and click. You get the dot where you want it, you hold it there, you pull the trigger, the bullet goes where you want it to go.
Yeah.
If you're not drilling, super tight groups at significant distance, you have major fundamentals to work on.
That's right. You've got trigger and follow through, trigger control, follow through, proper grip, proper handling of the gun, etc. It will show you that your fundamental platform is off. And when I talk about your platform, I'm talking about you as the shooter.
Yep.
Yeah, it's quick. It's very neat. There was some discussion that I stepped in a while back on social media about using iron sights with the red dot, and very respected, very, very tenured instructors said, you're doing it wrong. If you're looking at the irons, you're doing it wrong. And I get what they're saying now. But I'll also add that for me, it may be the training wheels effect. It may be that I'm still getting used to the dot and finding the dot instead of the sights, but I'm lining up with the irons because I shoot right-handed, but I'm left-eye dominant. And factoid for the listeners, I am 100% completely blind in my right eye. I was shot, and I lost my eyesight as a result of having been shot. So if you want to know how it feels to get shot in the head, I can tell you it sucks. But I've been without eyesight in my right eye longer than I had it now. So I shoot right-handed, left eye dominant. And because of that, the gun's kind of canted and it's a little bit across the center of my body line. I have to use the irons currently to get the dot where I need it to be. With training and muscle memory, that will go away. But even still, not at the peak of the game with that, and very much new to the whole thing. My precision tightened up considerably, and at speed, I was able to get a group that would have been practical only with slow, deliberate shooting before. And it was just crazy. I posted a picture. There was a 30-round group that was smaller than 3 fingers put together. And the guys that were sitting there with me when I was shooting it, they were just like, this is stupid. That's 30 that you just ran 2 15-round mags through that hole. And it's like, yeah, but you put the red dot on the hole that's already there and you pull the trigger, guess where the bullet's going to go? Yeah. Right. And they thought for sure that, maybe David's completely missing the target and we're going to try it. And then one of them tried it and he got a very tight group himself. And after a while you're sending rounds through, holes already in the target. And so, yeah, man, I'm a believer, completely a believer.
And then there's night shooting.
Yeah.
Like what better than a slightly glowing red dot to be
right.
Your point of aim. One-handed manipulations.
Yeah.
You can rack it off of anything.
Yeah.
A desk
with a rugged one.
Belt, holster, belt loop, the bottom of I've seen people do it off their heel of their shoe.
Yeah.
You can slam those, like the Trijicon. I mean, some of the reviews are not good on some of the others, but I know like the Trijicon RMR, you can literally smash it off the corner of a steel tailgate.
Yeah.
And go to work and the things will last.
Right. Yeah. I've seen, so Vortex, good example there. They back their stuff up. If you break it, they're going to replace it. But I would rather not break it to begin with. So that's why I chose to go with the RMR, the Trijicon RMR.
They're not going to replace it in the middle of a gunfight.
Right. Exactly that. So it's really got me thinking about, kind of like RMR all the things. And I'm glad that I did it to my 19 because that's one of my mainstays. That's the thing that I've been carrying the most lately.
As it should be.
As it should be. My M&P 2.0 that's sitting on the desk in front of me right now, Mark. It's
excuse me.
Yeah. It's a good gun, man. I mean, it really is. And it works for me for a variety of reasons. I want to send this slide off and have it milled for an RMR. I really do. Other new gear lately, I picked up the Gen 5 Glock 19 after I decided to pimp out the Gen 4 and turned it into the space gun. I bought just a run-of-the-mill Gen 5. I really like the gun. It's amazing that all the little incremental things that they did to it added up to a very compelling package. But the slide, the finish on that thing, that near diamond-like, the NDLC near diamond-like coating they put on it is slicker than a Teflon frying pan. And I showed you guys earlier the gouge on my finger where it opened up and ate the meat off my finger. My hand slipped off of it and I got my finger pinched in between the barrel shroud and the breech face, and it tore the flesh right off of it.
Well, I do have one question for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is your ultimate goal to have 1919s?
It might be. I don't know. I mean, I don't have a Gen 1.
Got all the 19s.
I
How many do you have?
I've got more
6.
than I want to admit. So I've got a Gen 3, a Gen 4. I'm saying A. I have several of some of these, but I don't want to say because when I have a boating accident and I lose all my firearms, I don't want to have to count to all of them to the ATF, right? But I have a Gen 3, a Gen 4, a Gen 5, and that's all I'd bid to, and a space gun, right? But I would love to have a Gen 1 just because. I have shot I shot the Gen 5 19X, the peanut butter brown or baby poop brown, whatever you want to call it.
Peanut butter Glock.
Yeah, the peanut butter Glock. That thing is, it's weird. Yeah, it's good. It had a really good trigger to it. I don't think that its trigger was any better than the Gen 5 that I've got, which has a phenomenal trigger. But that agency trigger that I got from you, Mark, for my Gen 4 is just the stuff, man. I mean, I didn't realize, I was skeptical. I'll say that I was skeptical on the front end that I was going to think it was better than the stock trigger in the Gen 5. No question about it.
Right.
No question about it. It is a phenomenally good trigger. The agency arms trigger is just phenomenally good.
Yeah. To my comment earlier about Glocks not fitting my hand.
Yeah.
Just fondling them at the range and, the rental gun, the peanut butter Glock, it fit my hand. Mm-hmm. Way better than any of the previous, generation stuff. So, I mean, that is an option for me later if I choose to, go to the full size versus, the compact.
Do the finger grooves screw with you on the Gen 4s, Gen 3s and Gen 4s? Do the finger grooves? Okay.
Yes. And that's a big part of why I bought the P80, right? Because, it doesn't have the finger grooves.
Right.
It just fits my hand. So,
yep. Yeah, that's the thing that I would change on the Gen 5, not the finger grooves. I like the fact that they're not there. I like the fact that my M&P 2.0 compact doesn't have finger grooves on the front of it. What I absolutely love about this gun is the texture. The M&P 2.0 grip texture is amazing. If I could get that on a Glock, I would be super happy. So I'm going to try to get that on Glock by setting mine off and getting somebody to, stipple it or laser it or something.
Yes.
But as I was shooting the Gen 5 at the range the other day, it was one of these really hot, humid, gross days that we have in Tennessee. As my hands started to get slick just from sweat, and I was probably making that worse. I'd reach up and wipe my brow off or whatever, and you rub it on your pants leg, and you think, okay, I'm good. But man, I could feel that thing squirming around in my grip, and the Gen 5, Gen 4 RTF on the Glock still doesn't have the grip that I want from it. It's just not, it's not grippy enough. So I don't know. Mark, your 17 build with the agency slide and all that stuff, it's on a Polymer 80 lower, right? On a frame, or is it an agency frame? What have you got?
I'm on a Glock frame.
Oh, are you? Okay.
Yeah, no, it's a full agency Glock frame.
Okay,
yeah.
So it's been textured or stippled, I guess,
Yep.
right? So yeah. I mean, it just needs more. The Gen 5 guns are nice. I'll tell you where where I appreciate the texture on the Gen 4 and Gen 5 Glocks is concealed carry with a coat over it, like a sport coat. If I'm wearing that for going out on the town or at church or something like that, the texture on my M&P 2.0 will actually catch the fabric of the coat and start to fray the inside liner of it. The Glock doesn't do that. So, and so what are the odds that I'm going to go in a protracted long gunfight with my Glock Gen 5 and, get sweaty hands in a sport coat, right? Probably not. It's going to be, pretty quick and over with, I would hope. But I still like the grippiness of the M&P 2.0. I am going to put an RMR on that thing. It's going to happen. So, all right, let me think. Any other new stuff? Mark, you had new ear protection or something like that, or?
Yeah, I'm not sure if you're familiar with the brand, but it's Axel AXIL. No,
tell me about it.
So I met them a couple of years ago, and they make kind of like some earbud style.
Okay.
Ear Pro.
Okay.
They go in ear 100%, like plugs almost, but they are decibel blockers.
Are they electric or are they passive?
They're electric.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm
really
Googling
nice.
them and they look really nice.
That go in with a tether.
Yeah.
Like a lanyard almost, so you can pull them out and they just drape around your neck.
Yeah.
And then they have some that just plug in your ear, almost like a wireless earbud. And then they also have a few different sets with, like absolute headgear with head strap and like standard muffs. But I've been doing a little bit of work with these. I think that I'm gonna, after the time that I spent, a little bit of testing that I've got with them, I think I'm probably going to be putting them on the Squared Away Customs website and doing some sales for them. The product is really great. It's a smaller company, it's not like Peltor size, but they're doing really good things. And, like my father's suffering from hearing loss in his early 60s.
Yeah.
And, it's just very eye-opening. It's just like, man, it's like he's missing stuff with his grandkids and he's missing stuff. He's just not hearing it because he's can't get it back. You know what I mean? He's got hearing aids, but they're frustrating for him. And
that's me, man. I mean, my wife would probably like to get me hearing aids and I refuse to do it. And it's just years of loud noises and loud cars and shooting. And half the time my 4-year-old daughter will say something and I feel terrible, like a terrible dad. I'll just have to look at my wife and say, I don't understand what she's saying. And then she'll repeat it. Right. But, my hearing's shot from it. And once it's gone, it's not good. It's never coming back.
It's hard to get back. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just based on our conversation here. I just looked these guys up on the internet, and they're Bluetooth Ear Pro, which I think is beyond reasonably priced at $79 on their website.
Okay.
Offers 30 decibels of noise reduction.
That's better than hearing
Yeah, that's better than earmuffs. Yeah. So that's great.
So the new stuff is going to be for the hearing impaired.
Yeah.
For the shooter.
Okay.
For also connected Bluetooth. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like an all-in-one. So you don't need to carry your Bose, your Beats, your AirPods, and your Peltors when you're going on a 3-day trip to the range and taking a class.
No kidding.
Like you can do it all in one.
Yeah.
So yeah. But
that's awesome.
When I was at NRA, I met with Weston, one of the head honcho there, and he set me up with he did the custom molded. Where he actually injected my ears with the goo
while you were there at shop.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and then they've been making them, and they're actually going to be pretty awesome. So
that's very cool. Yeah, I picked up some of the Peltor 500 Tacticals, which are Bluetooth, the other day, and they were like $130 on Amazon or something. They're better than the Pro Ears that I had, but they're only rated at 26 or 28 dBs. I forget what it was, but it's not in the 30s like these are. Well, I mean, go ahead.
These list at 22 decibels with silicone tips.
Yeah.
And 30 with foam tips. But the 22, that is right in line with every other, in-ear electronic ear pro that's available that I've seen, at least. Because part of the trip to Bass Pro Shop the other day was I'm the kind of guy that I have to put something in my hand before I buy it,
Right.
And that was part of the trip is I want to look and see what these things offer and, touch it and feel it and see how it feels and that sort of thing. And that was part of the trip. But I mean, none of them come close to 30 dB.
I mean, this is kind of like right in your wheelhouse too, because, career wise, you're educated as a occupational safety and health person. So
yes,
hearing protection is very much in your wheelhouse. Yeah, I wonder, and I don't know enough about it. I'd have to go do some research. But one of the arguments for conventional ear pro, earmuffs was that you don't get the bone transmission of sound from around your ear into the ear canal the same way you would with just foamies. You stick foam earplugs in there. They say it's not as good as. I don't know. Maybe what do you know about that? Anything, or is that just we're going to have to go do some more research on that?
Well, there's way more than what we can talk about in a short segment. There's a couple of trains of thought in that, using both the foamy, in inner ear offers one level of protection, using an over ear offers another level of protection.
Right. And
then a combination of both of those is ultimately the best way to go. And, you can even get into the mid 40 decibel reduction by using both sets.
I use both at indoor ranges.
And and wise decision. You'll never hear me say otherwise. And especially, if you have kids and you take them to a loud event, be it a car race or a concert or something, the child's ear is much more susceptible to damage early on than ours are now in our 40s. But you're not going to find, I have not seen another product, inner ear electronic, that offers 30 decibels
of
noise
incredible.
reduction.
Yeah,
I have not seen that.
Very incredible. I'll have to check them out. That's good. Mark, whenever you guys get them on the website, let me know, and I'll order
sure.
Yeah, just put me down for a set of those Bluetooth ear pros that are. Yeah, just go ahead and get me that coming.
Place your orders now, folks.
Place orders now.
You're already in line behind two of us.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what else I've done lately. Well, I took the CPR class. That was fun. I mentioned that once before. I think that's something everybody ought to do. That I just, for less than $80, I was able to take it online and then take the actual practical demonstration of CPR in a classroom setting and got my certificate from the Red Cross. If you don't know CPR and you've got the ability to learn it, please do it. It's one of those things that you can really save a life with it. You don't have to carry any gear around with you either, other than maybe the face mask, the CPR mask, to keep people from passing something to you that you don't want. But unlike a tourniquet or whatever else, you don't have to carry any bulky gear around. Did do the pre-hospital trauma life support class. That was fun. That was 8 hours of just learning how to stop the bleed. I really am optimistic. We might be able to have the instructor from my class come on the show soon, Mark. Yeah, he was definitely open to it, and he's got a pretty impressive resume. Special Forces medic. Now one of the life flight nurses, nurse practitioner. Anyway, he really fantastic instructor. Really engaging, brought it home, made it very real. It was more than I thought I was bargaining for when I signed up for the class. But we did the wound packing with the wound simulators and all that fun stuff, and it was eye opening. You got any training coming up? Any of you guys? Anything that you're going to do soon? Mark, you had one.
I've got one that was unfortunately postponed, but I had one that was supposed to be here in about 15 days, but it got postponed to October. So October 6th will be the first day, but it's with a guy that was 5th Group Special Forces. It's an advanced carbine class. It's going to be right up here at my local range that I'm the vice president of here in Enfield, New Hampshire, called the Enfield Outing Club. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to try and squeak in maybe a pistol class or two in the meantime. But man, oh man, between work and a baby and family, and
it's hard to do.
It's a challenge these days. It was way easier before Mr. Sawyer arrived.
The big guy. Yeah.
Oh boy. Now that Sawyer's here, it's just like everything changes. It's not just that, it's just like take time to go hang out with the guys was one thing because it's an annual trip. But other than that, it's like going shooting or just hanging out with a little guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a hard choice to make sometimes.
I'm fortunate that my range is about 5 minutes away and I can get there and back. And most of the time I do it on like a Saturday or Sunday morning when everybody's still asleep. But we talked about this last time after the show, after we finished recording. Given the choice between hanging out with my family or going out and doing a bunch of crazy stuff with the guys, generally every single time I'm going to pick hang out with my family. And I've turned into the old married guy, but that's the way it should be. That's why we all probably carry guns anyway, is because we want to protect our families. So, that should be what's important. Brad, what about you, man? You got any training classes you're wanting to do soon or anything like that?
Not until after the first of the year. I'm in the middle of studying for an exam for my career.
Oh boy!
So that is taking precedence over any a full 2-day, 3-day away event of any kind. So that that'll be end of October, 1st of November, and then by that you're in Thanksgiving and Christmas, and there's not even a chance of trying to schedule something at that point. After the first of the year, I'm looking at a few different options though. So, and one thing while I'm talking, I guess you would say, and we had talked about new gear and new equipment that each of us had gotten.
Yep.
And I actually forgot about this. There's a company called Spartan Mounts. SpartanMounts.com. They sell on Amazon. They sell on eBay. So they make 3D printed mounts of a variety of different options, both magazine, pistol, and mostly AR platform stuff. But they make an AK mount. They make a Taver mount, a Lapua mount, an MPX, an AR-10 from DPMS. And they're very durable, 3D printed plastic. I bought mine. I bought a couple of the magazine mounts that are mounted in my safe. So now I have loaded mags kind of up on the wall of the safe and out of the way, not just sitting on a shelf getting, knocked around.
Yeah.
But then the way that I have my reloading / cleaning bench set up, there was never a good way. It's not very big. So there was never a good way to put a big, like gun vise for cleaning or anything. So I bought one of the AR mounts, attached it to the front of my bench.
Oh.
But now when I get ready to clean, it snaps on, it uses the magazine well, and it locks into place.
Very cool.
So that you can, it's not going to be moving around. You break open the upper from the lower and, stick a little bottle over the muzzle, and you can run your rod and your patches through, and everything, cleans up and goes in the bottle. But at the same time, You can mount these behind a door. You can mount them anywhere that, if you needed quick access to a firearm, that's an option.
That's very cool.
And my safe is on the opposite end of the house from my master bedroom.
Yeah.
I keep a firearm in the bedside table, but I don't keep a rifle in the bedside table, so that, that might be an option to put behind the door, stick in the closet or on the back side of the dresser or something that still you can get to it very easy. And they're very affordable. Most of them are less than $22.
Wow. Okay.
They come with the screws and the anchors. If you're going to mount it into sheetrock, they send the anchors with it. So, you can mount it into sheetrock and everything. Very cool product, I feel like, for the money.
Yeah, I like the bargain products that are not super expensive that do a cool thing. So
yes, it's simple. It works. The magazine retention for for the magazine holders is pretty good. Now, if you knock it around, it's going to come out.
Sure. Well, that's not what it's meant for, though, right? So,
it's not what it's meant for, though. Right. It's meant to just hold magazines against a wall.
Yeah.
And they work very well at what they do. So
very cool. No, that's good to know.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, check those out.
Yeah, I'll have to drop that in the show notes, and then folks can go check that out. Mark, anything else in your world?
No, just playing around with beating a dead horse here with the new flashlights, getting to know them, getting to see what I like the best. The Surefire Tactician handheld is still my favorite. And I'm working with that handheld right now, but I'm still stuck on the X300U on the weapon lights for on pistol. But other than that, for new gear, I don't think I have anything. The Ear Pro was pretty exciting for me, and I think it should be for everybody. Like as I said before, the stuff that I'm going through with my father losing his hearing is just progressive more and more. And he's early 60s, so
right.
It's just like, man, he's got a lot of time left, and he really, without them, he's just can't hear, and it's frustrating for us, but I can also imagine how it is for him.
It's probably heartbreaking for him, and he doesn't tell you all about it. How bad it bothers him.
Yeah. Absolutely. So protect your ears.
Yeah, definitely.
Protect your ears, protect your eyes. That's a big one. But
definitely protect your eyes.
From the work side of what I do, I'll comment on that. Is that part of that is hereditary?
Sure.
My father worked in a manufacturing facility his entire life, but at the same time, he was religious about wearing hearing protection when he was at work. Even, now, he can't hear anything. You can,
right.
He can be asleep in the recliner and you can literally vacuum under his feet and he'll never, he'll never hear it.
Right.
But he wore earplugs and muffs all the time, but it's hereditary. Plus then we shoot and we mess with loud cars and we all like loud rock music, and none of that helps if it's already in your genes, So just think about that when you go to the range or you go to these events. You've got to protect your ears.
Yeah, I jokingly tell my wife that 90% of marriage is yelling "what" from the other room, right?
Yes, it is.
That's just kind of the way it's supposed to be. But yeah, I know it frustrates her, and I can't undo it, because once you lose your hearing, you just don't get it back. It's just, that's the physiology of our bodies. So very important to take care of that. On the lighter note, I did pick up one of the Mantis X electronic training things. It looks like a little weapon mounted light that goes underneath like a pick rail. And that's really cool. I did a ton of dry fire the week before I took the space gun out and shot it with the RMR. And I credit that for a lot of the accuracy. That thing gives you really good, quick feedback on what you're doing wrong. If you're driving the muzzle down, if you're not following through the trigger pull right, if you're moving it, if you've got your arm out there and you're moving around a lot before you snap the trigger, it tells you all these different things. And it does it in a way that's almost like a video game, so it's on your phone, it's on your tablet, whatever you're syncing to. And you can also compare yourself against other people on the internet. So it's kind of like social media for dry fire, if that sounds exciting, right?
That's what I would say it was, yeah.
Yeah, it really kind of is. And so The big motivator for me to get it was after the ladies episode that my wife did with your wife, Kristen, and Tiffany. We went on a shopping spree and we picked up an M&P 2.0 compact, the 3.6 inch model for her. And I was doing backflips because she'd been carrying the XDS, which I think is a super crappy gun. And, we got her the 3.6 inch M&P. Now she's got a double stack. It shoots 9mm. It's easy for her to rack. I'm not like cringing every time she carries it. But she doesn't get to go out to the range as much as I do. So she can empty the gun, observe all the normal safety stuff, put the mag and the ammo in another room or whatever, and dry fire with the Mantis X on it. And it's not the same as going to the range, but it helps her be better. So I'm pretty jazzed about it. The unfortunate part is this stupid thing is expensive. And if they can ever get that price down to right around the $100 mark, it will be a no-brainer. I think at its current price point, it's maybe like $150 or north of that. I don't remember, but it's a hard pill to swallow. But if you're looking to eke out some extra performance from yourself, it's a good tool to use. So I give it 2 thumbs up. It's just it's not super cost friendly. So anyway. That's my show and tell on that one.
Cool.
Yeah. Golly, man, guys, we're already at the bottom of our second segment. So I guess we should try to wrap things up and get out of here. And I'm going to go smoke a cigar on the back porch and drink bourbon. So
that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Yeah. That sounds like a legit plan. Mark, I think you might be muted, dude.
I'm out of cigars and I'm out of bourbon.
Yeah. I shouldn't do the cigar thing. Really, I shouldn't. It's, we just sat here and talked about how bad, hearing loss is. And now I'm going to go smoke a cigar. It's not hurt my hearing. Loss. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I won't do a cigar. My wife would be happier if I didn't do a cigar. So that's probably
do the cigar. Do it for me.
Yeah, okay. I could. Yeah, I feel like I should. Get the whole ATF experience in here. Got had the bourbon, got the firearm. Just need the cigar. So
and explosives.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the E. What can I do there? Tannerite? Do you think Tannerite at 10:30 at night is good? I don't know.
In Tennessee, just do it.
In Tennessee, yeah, man. Yeah,
it's an HOA. Who cares?
Speaking of cigars, I had a really good one and it was the second time. Like I'll try one once, and if it's good, then I'll try it again. If it's still good, then I'll praise it.
Yeah.
Acid 1400s.
I've had acids before, but I haven't had the 1400. So is it mild? Is it Maduro?
Yeah, it's mild.
Okay.
It's mild.
Yeah.
Which is what I like. Just I don't know why. It's what I like. Some of the other ones are just too gnarly for me. And
yeah.
But yeah, it was nice. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I tend to go for dark coffee, dark beer, bourbon, and dark, the heavier cigars like the Maduros and things like that. But occasionally I'll do a Connecticut, the lighter, and those are nice. So a good mellow cigar. But at the end of the day, your laundry still ends up smelling like a ashtray the next day. So that's the bummer. Yeah. I always enjoy it when I'm doing it, but then on day 2, the next morning, I feel like the ashtray of a taxi cab.
Yeah.
Back when taxis let you smoke. Do taxis let you smoke anymore? I don't
know. I was just thinking about the last cab that I took. We were in Orlando and there was like 6 of us. So we called a cab service expecting a minivan, right?
Right.
No. So this guy shows up in a Lincoln Navigator on like 24-inch rims.
Sweet.
And I mean, he was the coolest cabbie ever, but it was not what we were expecting.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like the Uber XL. Yeah, you get that kind of stuff for that. Yeah.
And this was 10 years ago. This was way before Uber.
Uber.
Yeah, it was a little weird, but
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Maybe that's where taxi cabs could differentiate themselves from Uber and Lyft, is allow you to smoke cigars in their cabs and shoot guns out the window while you're on the way to the store to get bourbon.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. ATF should be a convenience store.
It really should be. I've completely, if people had a certain preconceived notion of what we were like, we've probably wrecked it with this episode. Oh well. We had 23 shows. We had a good run. So, all right, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it. It was good to hang out with y'all. Hope that it was the closest thing that you possibly could get in your ears to hanging out with a bunch of folks just talking about guns and gear and whiskey and cigars and hearing loss. Yeah. This is actually kind of depressing. We got to do better next time. We'll talk about something other than hearing loss, maybe. I don't know. Go get hearing protection. You really need it. So
it's important.
It is important.
It is important.
Yeah,
yes,
I mean,
absolutely.
If you go deaf, you can't listen to us, and that would be a bad thing.
It would hurt my heart.
That's where I was going with this.
Yeah, I mean, I hope that it would be a bad thing. I think it would be bad. Maybe they. Never mind. If you don't think it was a bad thing, don't let us know. I don't want to know about that. All right, Mark, where can folks connect with you after the show?
SquaredAwayCustoms.com, or you can always email info@SquaredAwayCustoms.com. Happy to been chatting with quite a few of you via email this week, so it's great to hear from you, and we appreciate it.
That's awesome. Yeah, Brad. People connect with you just social media or
social media.
Call you up and night and tell you that you're standing outside your house, or
I really don't think you'd want to stalk me. I'm not that interesting. At least my wife says I'm not that interesting.
Hey man, you're interesting.
But yeah, I'm on Facebook, of course, and Brad Jones. I'm pretty easy to find. I have an American flag waving as my profile video,
as everybody should.
Right? And then on Instagram, as Bradley RJ79, and there's some pictures of the car and the bourbon and the dogs and the guns.
Yeah, it's all the right things.
And I can't remember, and it breaks my heart that I can't remember this, but there's a song of yesterday of, faster horses, younger women, older whiskey, and more money. And that's pretty well where I'm headed.
This episode is sponsored by all those things.
Those things. That's right. So yeah, I'm pretty easy to find. And I'll welcome a good chat about any of those topics, both that we've talked about tonight and anything else firearm related. So please reach out if you want to talk about something. That's totally cool.
Very cool. Well, we're glad you got to hang out with us tonight. It was overdue, and we had fun with it. Hopefully we get to do some of these group chats that we were talking about earlier. We'll get to do that with the guys soon. And maybe we can incorporate some sort of a group chat type thing with the listeners on our big 6-month anniversary. I don't know. I've got these ideas rolling around in my head, and it'll either be epic or it will be the biggest burnout you've ever seen in your life. But everybody likes a train wreck, so unless you're on the train.
You're the tech savvy guy. Is there a way that
I lie about that though? I'm really not. I have people that work for me that are tech savvy. So. Yeah,
but you get paid for it, so you must be a good liar. So
I am a very good liar.
Is there a way that you can determine the 10 people that have listened to every single podcast or anything, and maybe I don't know, use that random name generator and get one of those guys on the podcast?
Yeah, it might be fun. It might be good to get one of our listeners on here and hang out with us. That could be a lot of fun. I can only think of a few instances for celebrities where that went terribly wrong, but why not? I mean, I think it could be a lot of fun, and we do have the ultimate authority since we are recording and not going live. We could always edit. Except I said we wanted to do a live show. I don't know. This is shaping up to scare me. I'm not sure.
I do what I can.
Yeah, that's cool. I like it. It's a good idea. All right, so in the weeks ahead, again, hoping to have pre-hospital trauma life support PHTLS instructor on the show. Still trying to work out the logistics of that. Gentleman was very interested in that, but he's also very interested actually out saving people's lives. So we got to be respectful of his schedule, and that might be difficult. Again, August is our 6-month anniversary, so we're going to be doing something cool there. I kind of want to do some giveaways of swag on Instagram. So, Mark, I'm thinking that people should definitely follow us on Instagram. I think it's at Shooters Nation Radio because at Shooters Nation was taken, which just breaks my heart. But anyway, follow us over there.
The guy from the airboat in Okeechobee has that one.
It probably is. It's the guy that was conceived on the airboat watching alligators or something. But yeah, that poor guy, that rat. Anyway, follow us on Instagram. I'm thinking that this month I'd like to give away some of the Shooters Nation hats, and I might, big word, try to get some more of the laser engraved Shooters Nation tumblers or mugs like you're pointing at right there, Brad. I'll hook you up with one of those, man. I will completely hook you up with one. But yeah, if I can get some of those done, I'll try to give some things away just to maybe for folks that refer us and tag their friends or something. The usual Instagram stuff. Yeah, special thanks to our patrons who are directly supporting the show, even though you might be second guessing yourself right now. If you want to make future episodes possible, you can head over to shootersnation.com, look for the donate button, which is a cute little kitten right now. I think, no, wait, the kitten's the idea button. Never mind. Don't do that. You want to click on the button that has the change jar. That actually lets you donate. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. You
do this every time.
I do this every time. The kitten is for you to share ideas. So if you want to share an idea, pet the kitty. That's a terrible slogan. I got to come up with something better than that. But yeah, let us know what you want us to hear, and also send us your money, all your money. If you'd like Shooters Nation logoed hats, and shirts, you can head over to shootersnation.com and look for the store link. I'm going to add some colder weather gear to that soon because colder weather's imminent, maybe, even though it seems disgusting to talk about that. It's like 100 degrees outside here right now. While you're at shootersnation.com, sign up for our Mail Blast mailing list, and also head over to the comments section and let us know what you thought about this show. If you think that we should stick to writing scripts and working from scripts, tell me that. If you liked this because it was freeform and a little bit more casual and you enjoyed it, tell me that too.
Feedback.
Yeah, we're looking for feedback. Good, bad, ugly, doesn't matter. The bad stuff I delete. The really bad stuff we laugh about, and the good stuff I share and I read on air. All right, everybody, that's it. It's a wrap. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you had fun. Until we talk again, be safe out there.
The preceding segment was a production of the Shooters Nation podcast. Visit us online at shootersnation.com.